There are a lot of misconceptions about the IRS's Offer and Compromise or OIC program. Let's take a look at 5 myths and I'll give you the realities. And again, you'll hear a lot on advertising. You'll hear a lot of people talk about this program. What you really want to do is look very closely at whether or not you qualify and can utilize this program if you owe back taxes to the IRS. So let's take a look at the 5 myths. And again, there's a lot of myths in here. I'm just going to give you my top 5. The first myth is that the offer and compromise is just too good to be true. This has got to be a scam, and you hear a lot of that too good to be true stories in radio and late night TV and such like that. The reality is the Internal Revenue Code, Section 7122, actually allows for the IRS to compromise its liabilities, right? But in fact, this authority to compromise is discretionary. Sometimes the IRS can just say no and offer you another alternative. Now, the reality is few people qualify, but even fewer actually take advantage of the IRS's offer and compromise. So that's myth number 1. It's too good to be true. It's a scam. No, it's not a scam. It's actually a part of the Internal Revenue Code. The second myth is all tax debtors can actually get an offer and compromise. They just need to be really good negotiators with the IRS. This can't be farther from the truth. Now, all taxpayers, they cannot use the offer and compromise program. You have to, first of all, qualify, right? And qualify means you cannot pay the IRS before the collection statute expires with your assets or future monthly payments, right? And so that's not applicable for a lot of people, so they don't qualify, right? There's also, you have to be able to compute the offer amount that you would be able to settle with the IRS. This is not a negotiation, this is a computation, all right? So that's myth number 2. Everybody can get one, you just need to be able to negotiate more. No, these are computations and there's rules associated with it. All right. The third myth is you just make an offer to the IRS and you see if they actually accept it. Well, this is the wrong way to go, and this is a good way to go ahead and get your offer and compromised rejected by the IRS. So there are specific rules to both the qualification side and how much you would offer the IRS to go ahead and pay. The offer amount, as it's computed, it's not arbitrary. There are IRS rules that the IRS has to follow, so you need to follow them also. Now, that's a third myth. Again, just make an offer and see if the IRS accepts it. No, that's a myth. All right. The fourth myth is that basically the OIC is always the best option. Now, this is not true. The offer and compromise is one of many IRS collection options. And whether or not it's the best option, it really depends upon your personal circumstances. Now, other options may in fact actually be better, right? Remember, in an offer and compromise, you have to offer the IRS at least your net equity and assets. A lot of people cannot pay the amount that's in their 401k or perhaps go ahead and access the equity in their house to go ahead and pay an offer and compromise, or may even disqualify them for an offer and compromise. So sometimes it's not the best option. If you're in financial distress, maybe currently non-collectible temporary status could be a better option. Now, the last myth is it's really expensive to go ahead and apply for one of these offer and compromise programs. Well, like I said, it's not for everybody, and the reality is not for everyone. Yes, it can be expensive, and you usually have to use a professional to go ahead who knows the rules to go ahead and follow an offer and compromise. Now, the IRS, will they help you do this? No, they won't. You have to do the application yourself. It's a Form 656 with supporting documentations. It can cost you a substantial amount of money to go ahead and do this. But if your circumstances are fairly simple, you're a wage earner, you rent, you don't have any other unusual expenses, it can be a fairly simple and straightforward process. If it, in fact, you have complications, like you have small businesses you own or other investments and such like that, the evaluation part, the application part, that can actually take a pretty good amount of time and effort to go ahead and get done. By the way, the offer and compromise process isn't an application approval denial. There's an investigation involved. The average offer and compromise takes about 5 to 12 months to go ahead and complete. So you're going to have fees associated with this if you hire a professional. So I hope these 5 myths that you've heard, that we've given some clarity on, can help you better evaluate whether or not the offer and compromise program is right for you to be able to resolve your back tax debt.